Hello, and welcome to my very first devlog. In this video I will make a game, even though I'm still just a beginner, so please, don't be mad if I'm doing anything wrong, because I'm still learning. And I'm saying this, because I don't wanna be embarrassed. Mayo. So without further ado, let's begin. I started off opening the Unity 3D game engine. I said I opened the Unity game engine. Any moment now. So after about an hour the application finally opened, and the very first thing I did is created a box, because boxes are cool. After that I create another box, and do you know what I put inside? That's right, another box. Because boxes are cool. And the box that I created inside the box is now the player. And after creating the player I did some science stuff, and invented the physics. Any moment now. I think the application freezed. Tada, now it has gravity. You might be wondering, what in the world would you create with just box? And you might be thinking, do you actually have something planned for your game? And to that I will say, yes, I actually do have an idea for my game. The plan was simple, like the way I think, and it's to create a puzzle game that has swipe controls, spikes that kills you, cubes that blocks your way out, and that's all there is to it actually. And now, to take the plan into action. First I'll create a first stage of the game. And now that I have created this some sort of level, it's now time to some programming. I'm going to program the movement of the box. And if you thought that I'm going to teach you guys how I wrote the code, I'm sorry, but that's not really advisable. However, you can find someone who can in the internet, because the internet is full of free knowledge, yet some people still choose to ignore all of it and pay attention to what is fake. First I did what I know about programming the movement of an object in the game. And as expected, it works. I know, that is not supposed to happen, but hear me out. I found a solution. After I have wasted almost an hour trying to solve something, I figured out that I accidentally haven't changed the box colliders to 2D, and I'm very stupid. And after solving the problem, I continued on programming the movement. And after staring at my monitor, smashing my keyboard, and looking up tutorials on YouTube for a long period of time, I managed to do some movement mechanic. Sort of. Yes, I made a movement mechanic, but this isn't the mechanic that we can use in our game, because this is for a top-down style game and ours is a puzzle game. and in this point I started looking for tutorials on YouTube. My plan now is to rewrite the code to make it properly working for our game. And I'm ready to do whatever it takes to make it working. May it be watching hundreds of tutorials or copying hundreds of lines of codes. I'm determined to do so.
1 hour later.
And after all that hard work I finally completed my script for movement. It may not be working perfectly, but at least it does the job done. After being in a full developer mode on, I decided to take a break for a second and started to rebuild the level again. Finally everything is now going according to plan, and I can finally rest now. Or so I thought. Turns out the player can only stop on collision with other objects, which is what we wanted him to do, but the problem is the player can still move on all directions, which is bad. And after reflecting on all the hard work I have been through, I started researching for answers again. And this time the answers that I'm seeking is a code that will prevent two inputs to be used at the same time, which I think is too advanced for my small brain.
1 hour later.
I searched and searched through everything, but I still couldn't fix the bug for a long period of time.
1 hour later.
At this point I decided that I should stick to what I know. So what I did is I just wrote a revised version of my first code and used a technique. If you're wondering what is the technique that I'm talking about, it's box colliders. If you haven't been paying attention to this video, the bug that I'm trying to fix is how to prevent the box from going places it wasn't supposed to go, and my solution is to put a box collider in some specific spots so that it can serve as an invisible wall that restricts players' movement in certain places. And as expected, it's perfectly working. Or so I thought.
1 hour later.
Now it's finally working. Now that I'm done with this colliders, I think it's time to work on spikes. Now, you might be wondering, how the hell do you make spikes? In a matter of fact, I'm surprised too that I know all this stuff. Either way, how this so-called spikes work is it doesn't really kill the player, rather it sends the player at a certain spot whenever the spike collided on the player. Plus, that isn't really a spike, if you can't tell. That's a rectangle which isn't a box. That's why it is not cool. After making the rectangles, I started to write the script that I'm going to attach to them. And thank God, this shit wasn't as pain-inducing as the previous one. And this time it's perfectly working. And now we are done with all the things on the list. I'm afraid I have to end this video right here. Please click like and subscribe if you liked this video, and I might do the part 2. Thank you for watching.